Welcome, everyone, to Adventures into Reality with myself, Kathy Ma, and the amazing Galactic historian, Andrew Bartzis. He is currently traveling at this moment, literally at this moment, fighting snow and traffic to get to a location where there is internet. So hopefully he will be joining us any moment soon. You can all send a little good thought out for him and with the traffic and snow. So could be any moment, or it could be next week. Hard to say, but let's hope for any moment. And remember, everyone, if you wanted to get a private session with Andrew or myself, please contact Tanoch at galactichistorian.com. That's TENOCH at galactichistorian.com. And we'll be able to get to the bottom of your issues and help you see a better way ahead. If you'd like to learn more about Andrew, please check out his website, which is andrewbartzis.com. If you'd like to learn more about me, please check out my website, which is kathysperlsofwisdom.com. That's Kathy with a K. And with all the calls, please don't forget that if you are calling in through Skype, you must add Laura Lee to your Skype contacts because she is the one that's putting you through. If she has not accepted and confirmed you on her Skype contact list, she cannot put you through. And Laura's number to call is 1 for US 956-217-0261. And the station number is 1 for US 347-688-2902. And Laura's Skype is Laura Lee Solomon. So we're all looking forward to the finalizing of this year, I'm sure, and the welcoming of the new year, which, you know, for us in Asia is the year of the rooster is coming up, which is on January 28th. And I can't wait. I really can't wait. This year of the monkey has had some good moments, but there has been so many trials and tribulations in it. I know I'm not the only one that is thinking that. Most of you out there are thinking the same thoughts. It's been a tough year. Some good has come of it, and some of it has really managed to squash you down. But just note in your own mind, the energies of that year are already finishing up. They're winding down. And what that means is that already you will find that that energy of the monkey is dissipating and the rooster is already starting to come in. So with the year of the rooster, a lot of newness is coming, a lot of excitement is coming. A lot of you will actually be traveling a lot more, and you'll also find that little things start to come up to your notice that you will attend to, because year of the rooster is one of those years that in a way we can call it, it's like a housekeeping, cleaning kind of year. If you've been waiting for like last 5 years to do some cleansing out of your home or look through the boxes or try and really find where did you leave that watch, this is a year that you'll be cleaning through things, discarding things you don't want anymore, and finding things that you've long forgotten that you had or couldn't work out where they were. Now, I see we've got a lot of callers already coming in, so we'll get straight to it. We have, I know this is not your name, was from Canada. Hi, I'm sorry. I just had a mental blank. I was thinking it's Kirsten, right?
It is, thank you. I've tried to change it, but Skype can't figure it out. So sorry for the confusion.
That's okay. That's okay. Normally I'm really on top of it, but I was like, oh, today somehow the brain did not engage properly over that.
Oh, you figured it out.
Yeah. So how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. What can we do for you today?
Wow. A million things. Last time you and I spoke, you gave me some excellent information about my business. Mm-hmm. And since Andrew's not around for the Galactic side of it, not only my business, but my husband and I, we have a chunk of land and we're putting together an intentional community and we want to be self-sustaining. And we're in the extreme early stages, so we're having some growing pains. Mm-hmm. So I guess what I might benefit from having some insight on is the different people that we have in the group right now. There's a couple people that we're having issues with, and we're not completely comfortable with how to handle it. Mm-hmm. Because we don't know if it's we know very much that this land is deciding who is here. We are on an Indian reserve, and through my stepson, who's talked to Shane, you probably remember him. He's talked to Andrew a few times. So Shane's very good at communicating with the ancestors and the trees and, you know, all spirit here and finding out, you know, what's a good direction for us. But I don't want to rely on him too much. And he's young and he's in his very early learning stages. So I guess maybe we're looking for some insight on the best direction to go in and maybe how to handle some of our, you know, issues.
Okay. So with this couple that you were talking about that are a little bit problematic, in what sense? Like,
one of the men, one thing that we would like to do here is be a place where people can come and heal, although we're not therapists. So people know that this is a space where they can come if they need to be in nature and you know, have support, but we're not therapists. This one individual has acted violently towards another member in the community. He does have PTSD. He wasn't in service work. He received PTSD through violent crime. So he was violent towards one of our other community members, and then he was also violent towards his PTSD service dog. She rolled in some fish goo, and yeah, it's particularly nasty, and I saw him be physically violent towards her, so I had to speak up and say something, and it didn't go well, and I see inflated ego involved, and that's a line, right? Being physically violent. So while he's a good guy and we do care about him, you know, if you're going to go off at any moment and be physically abusive, we can't have that. And so we're just trying to figure out what's the best approach.
Okay, I understand. Well, when I look at this person you talked about and looking at his energy, you know, I feel for him. I got to say I do, because I can see the trauma and the, I'd almost say angst within him over this. But I don't think that he's going to be able to find himself in a place where he can be stable on his healing process or his healing road or path, whatever we'd like to call it. So in terms of how does that translate for you, I think it is risky having someone like that in a community, the type of community that you're talking about. And because there is actual choices that you can make over this, I would suggest that you just go with great honesty and put it to him that if the roles were reversed and you had someone who is slightly aggressive and you have younger kids in this area, what would you do? Because he will resonate and understand that. If you make it about just his behavior and how it's unacceptable, I think that would just aggravate the situation. But if you ask him to put himself in your shoes and how can you justify the safety of, let's call it minors, younger kids, if there was an episode, he would get that. I think with him, he needs some sort of more intensive treatment than what he is getting at the moment. If he were to find some intensive treatment, I would say it would probably take him about a year or so to be ready to enter this kind of community where people are not fearful of, it's really hard to put this very diplomatically, but, nobody wants to live in fear. No one wants to worry about anything in a community like this. So,
well, exactly. Yeah.
I think, in a year or so, if there was a lot of more intensive therapy, I think this is a situation that you can revisit again with this individual. But at the moment, you don't, as a community, you don't have the resources or the what do you call it, the technical support, that kind of thing, to cope. There's no way to say this that sounds nice, but I mean it in a good place. One of the things that I would suggest for him, caller 786, can you please mute or somehow cover up your background noise? Can you turn down your radio?
Got it.
Thank you. So one of the things that I would suggest to him is don't look for something that's just about uh, trauma, the traumatic extreme trauma. Look for something that's going to be much more addressing your childhood fears, because it is related. Of course, it's a different situation altogether, but if you can face those childhood fears that are already present within you, then it won't exacerbate into more extreme stuff with your condition.
Yeah.
So those are sort of things that I suggest that you could suggest later to him after you've had this conversation. But certainly, I can see on a soul level, on a character level as well, he's a good person. So he'll understand. He'll understand when you put it to him like that. That's where you're coming from, and won't take it so personally, I guess we could say. It's a tough situation. But until he can get some more serious help, it's any situation for him is potential blow up. So it's not a great place for him to be in, but he certainly needs more help than he's getting. When it comes to his dog, I think that his own behavior with his dog has probably shocked him. So I would be surprised if he continues with behavior like that with an animal.
Yeah. He just picked her up by the scruff of the neck, and she's a golden retriever, so she's not a small dog. And he picked her up, walked her 10 feet, and I saw this. He did it right in front of me, and I'm like, "Ooh, that not cool, not cool at all." And then he's having a PTSD moment because of the dog, but she's his therapy dog, so now he's got her tied up to a tree because he's mad at her. And it's like, dude, you just got rid of your help, right?
Yeah. So, I think it's not as simple as that, though. I think part of tying the dog up is also to make sure he doesn't touch it when he's not stable.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, sometimes when you have a behavior or you commit an act, you're so shocked at yourself, you're worried that you're going to do it again. Yeah. And you don't know if you can control it. So the easier thing is to put it away so that you don't have that temptation. Well, temptation is a terrible word, but that trigger.
Opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's trying. I feel for him. He really is, but he needs more help.
Yeah. And we need to make sure that our community members are safe. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and people don't want to be fearful on any level,
Exactly.
So, that is the way I would handle that situation. Yeah. When you talk about the community that you're developing, I like it a lot. I think you need to have a more expansive view on who you're going to have there. Because to me, it's like you've got these parameters that you've decided, we'll have these kind of people, those kind of people, and people that do this or that, and it's like by doing that, you're limiting yourself to so many other beautiful experiences. What I would say is rather than have those kind of parameters on it for yourself, and to me, I think these are not written down parameters, they're just in your head that you've talked about. Think of it more like, what can this person bring to a community in the sense of, do they bring laughter? Do they bring growing skills? Do they, are they good with kids? Can they help with tutoring? It's don't think more than that. It's just, what does that person, what can they contribute? And it can be in any way. And, okay, I'll raise an example, only an extreme example just to highlight what I mean, not because this is a particular example. But let's say you've got someone who's very, very rough looking, very big, and, wears all very rough looking study clothes and lots of tattoos, and you're all very scared because you feel that scary, biker kind of vibe. And actually, I love bikers, but you know what I mean? If you look at a movie, that kind of scary vibe. Then rather than look at that and that's your main sort of overriding thought, think about, I wonder if they're very good at fixing cars, because we've got a lot of people here who need some work on their gaskets or whatever it is. So what I'm getting at is, don't look at them and just see what you see within your own parameters. Think about it more just, this is person, okay, but wow, but what skill would he bring that could be useful to us? And that's all you really should be judging it on in terms of whether they can bring something into your community. Because I think you'll find if you can do this, that the array of people you get will be a better mix.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it more like this: variety is the spice of life.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and then one thing, we've been attracting men. There's only myself and one other woman who's great, but it's just the two of us. And it's like my husband, he was at the gravesite about a month ago, and he was talking to the ancestors, and he said, "I need help." Well, the next day, 3 men showed up, which is great. That's great, but I need some women. And it's just
girls.
Yeah, we need some girls. And we do have another couple that's looking at moving, and they're doing a house sitting thing right now until March, but they're really interested, and they have a little baby. So that would be another female there and a little one. That would be great. But I'm impatient, but I'm patient knowing that the land will provide what we need. So I just hope these other women hurry up and get here.
Yeah. I think in your everyday visualization, why don't you try adding things like, rather than, let's say, I would like more women, more like, I would really love some people with really great feminine energy that will come and help with, the herb garden or this, anything to do with plants, creams, that kind of thing. If by putting out that energy and asking for feminine energy, you're not limiting it. It's very weird, when you ask the universe for something, you have to be careful what you ask for because you might get it, right?
Yeah.
And then the second thing is, if you are too specific, sometimes it's difficult for the universe to give it to you. So I know what you're looking for. So rather than say, more female, it's like, I like the feminine energy. I'd like some, BFF girly talk time. And, obviously the odds are these will be women, but by not limiting it in a actual category, it opens up the odds of the universe providing something without those kind of limitations.
Yes.
Don't ask me how it works, but all I can tell you is that it does work like that. Many times I've visualized quite specific things that I would like, and they just don't come. So I have to get more inventive and think about what are the qualities of all that stuff that I want.
Yeah.
And when I put that out, lo and behold, and often it's not the same as I visualized in my mind at all. And I realize my own limitations I put on it. Like, wow, why didn't you know that before? And also with your land, one of the things I want you to take extra care with is anything that's to do with water during the winter. Anything to do with water during the winter, just check it and make sure it's all okay, because there is a potential problem with it. And what that means is, water pipes, oh no, you don't call them taps, you call them faucets or spigots, a lake nearby.
Because we're having unusually cold weather here. I mean, we're about 5 feet elevation from the ocean. We're very close. And we've got snow on the ground right now, which is very peculiar for this area. So we have had some freezing of water. But we got it all worked out now.
Okay.
But I mean, there could be potential more issues. I know that.
Yeah, I would even think about, if that's the case, one of the first things that jumps into my head is I would think about, what if that snow melted? Where would all that water go? Do you have, not sandbags, but because there's an issue with water, it's hard to predict what it could be. But just make sure that if you had an issue with water, how can you prepare for it, I guess? Yeah. Yep. So did I answer your question about the community?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an ongoing thing, right? Because it's going to be different one day to the next. But we do have regular community meetings. And one of the things that I want to talk to you about at our next meeting, which is probably going to be tomorrow, is fear. People that have fear, because I see this fellow having fear is, a lot of why he's acting the way that he is. And he has a roommate, another fellow that's staying in the same little shack that he's in. And he's causing the other fellow to act in fear as well. And I don't see it as being his in his nature. Mm-hmm. Right? That is right. Because the other fellow, he was just staying in a tent. He was, happy to be sleeping under the stars in a tent. But when it got too cold, he moved into the trailer with this other fellow. And so now that he's spending more time, we're finding that he's also acting in the same kind of fear, just, because they're chatting all the time. They're in proximity. So.
So what you mean is it that you are thinking about talking in general about how to cope with fear, how to deal with fear if you have fear?
How not to be in fear. Like my husband and I gave up living in fear a long time ago. Now that's not to mean that we're reckless. We still wear the seatbelt and obey the speed limit and make smart decisions, what we hope are smart decisions in our day-to-day life. But at the same time, we're not going to fear that if we are bold enough that we want to grow our own food, that we're going to have someone come in and take it away from us. You know what I
mean? Okay, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a difficult conversation to have with a group. I would probably suggest you present it more as a lifestyle talk than addressing fear in those terms, because just using those kind of words does produce a fearful reaction within people, and they kind of, some people they just close down after that, and they don't really hear the rest that you have to say. I would probably recommend that you approach it more on, I learned a fabulous thing, a wonderful technique when I was, living in the city or whatever it was, and it helped me adapt and ground myself so much when I'm this stage of my life, and just go from there and kind of cut out that whole topic of it. Just give them how it happens and how they can gain without having to say fear.
Yes. Good idea.
That way they'll hear you much better. And once they hear you, they can ask you questions later, which you can also, you can bring up that topic a little bit then, but let them, ooze into it. One of the things I also think you need to look at with this community is, it seems that next year there is some issue that comes up with tax over that. Well, that's a break. We'll get back to this right after break. Can you just hold on?
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome back, everyone, to Adventures into Reality with myself, Kathy Ma, and the amazing Galactic historian, Andrew Bartzis. Currently, Andrew has not made it to internet yet. He is still on the road battling snow. Poor Andrew. So hopefully he'll join us very soon. And if you'd like to learn more about Andrew, please check out his website at andrewbartzis.com. If you'd like to learn more about me, please check out my website, kathyspearlsofwisdom.com. And that's Kathy with a K. And at the moment, we're talking to Kirsten. Are you there?
I'm here.
Hi.
At any minute, he might jump on my computer. I'm trying to prevent it, but he's kind of rambunctious today.
One of the things that was popping up to me is next year, I really think there's going to be some sort of tax issue that comes up. It seems like, it's an unlikely thing, but at the same time, something comes out of nowhere. So whatever it is, just make sure that you've got everything in order, or if there are any regulations that small print stuff that need to be adhered to, make sure it's been adhered to. And I guess also because you're in a community, it might not necessarily just be this might not just be about you or the property. It could be someone within that community. It's a bit difficult to say, but I do see some tax issues coming up in that location. So as long as you're good, then it's all good.
Yep.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask about that?
About that? No, I was just thinking that maybe if you could talk a little bit about my business and where it's going and what would be a good idea.
Okay. Can you give us an update on what's going on?
Yeah, I do. I make my own organic, vegan, dark, raw chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
And I sell it at markets, and I do have some retail customers. And what I'd like to do is not have to go to markets anymore because they're very labor intensive. Plus, I don't know what I'm selling, so I don't know where my inventory is at when I have orders to fill, my retail
Mm-hmm.
orders to fill. So I'd like to get out of the market business and expand my retail customers.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm thinking of bringing out maybe a couple new products, dropping one or two. So I was just kind of wondering how you felt about that.
Mm. Have you pursued any of the marketing yet? That's not market related?
It's no. Number one, I'm not too tech savvy on that. Number two, I'm so extremely busy, especially this time of year with Christmas, right? It's great. It's great Christmas gifts. So I've been really busy. But number two, I guess I hesitate a little bit to get marketing because if it works, right? And then I hope it works, but I'm still doing the farmers markets. And so I guess I'm at that place where I'm a little bit worried that it's going to become too much really quickly.
Mm. All right, why don't we just keep it simple for you to help expand? Have you done anything on Facebook?
Well, I have a Facebook page for my business.
Mm-hmm. And what do you do to promote? I mean, do you put up regular update pictures? Do you run little competitions or gift giveaways, things like
I
this?
don't. I don't, and the reason is because I have a very faithful following in terms of like the markets where I sell, and then also my retail customers. They have regular customers that come in for my chocolate, so my reordering is pretty good when it comes to the retail. So I don't really have a need for that.
Mm-hmm.
I know it can be done. We do have another business here that we're looking at, competitions and or raffles or whatnot, things like that for
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, like my chocolate isn't cheap. It's not hugely expensive. I've had customers, I had to raise my prices. And when I ran it by people, they're like, I would pay whatever for your chocolate. It's just so dang good.
Mm.
And which is great to hear. And I don't want to take advantage of that. So, my product isn't like it's more than pennies for me to produce a bar. It's considerably more,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I
And
understand.
it's expensive to ship too. So, I mean, I had a man from the UK recently contact me, and I said, absolutely, I can send some to you, but I just want you to be aware that shipping is expensive because chocolate is heavy,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
right? So, and
Mm-hmm.
then I never heard back from him.
Okay. One of the reasons I'm suggesting something like Facebook is because for you, I think this would be an easy way to put yourself in that position to expand. I'd like you to consider doing a couple of really great little pictures and with some text that you're going to encourage people to post it on their Facebook page, right?
Okay.
So let's say you keep it simple and you can say, I want to celebrate the new year. I'm giving away 3 boxes of chocolates. I would like everyone who posts this on their own page to let me know, and I will put you in the draw just for the 3 box of chocolates. That way, even if only everyone that's already on your Facebook page, if they only post it to 2 people, like their mother, their daughter, whatever, that's already doubling your exposure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's simple. And your cost is only the 3 box of chocolates plus shipping. And you can say very specifically shipping only within the US or nominate someone to get it sent to within the US. I mean, it's up to how you want to do it. But I would like you to do something small like this because I think for you, it would be easy to do. You probably be in angst over which pictures you're going to use, but that's okay. We all take 10,000 pictures and not happy with any of them. But when you do it, please remember to make sure that you cut the chocolates open so people can see inside the chocolate. I think for you, when I look at that, that's the kind of imagery that people will be attracted to you and your chocolates. So
Gotcha. Good idea.
whatever text you want to put in, that's fine. But you're asking other people to do you a favor, and there's a chance to win something. So
Mm-hmm.
if you did that, I think you would be really surprised at the response. And that alone will give you the encouragement that you need to think about other kinds of marketing. it's a tough place to be when you're at a place where you've got a product and you want to expand, you want it to be more successful, but then you're worried about the success because what kind of work does that mean for you? You know, and
Mm-hmm.
this is a internal conversation dialogue that all of us go through when we get to a certain point within production. But what I'd say is this way, at the end of the day, your cost or your production, whatever it is only three boxes. So you've limited it. Yet at the same time, the same time, you've seen the response.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's probably going to be one of the most useful things for you moving forward is to see that response so that you can be more okay with everything.
Mm-hmm. Good idea.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for calling in. It was great to talk to you again.
Thank you, Kathy.
And you have a wonderful Christmas.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Wow, what an interesting call. Everyone's always got such incredible issues, or not issues, but things going on in their life. You always can learn so much from every single caller. I love that about this show. All right, moving on. Let's see. We have, I think we might have lost Amanda. We have Amalia.
Amalia, hello.
Amalia. I'm sorry, Amalia.
No problem. No, my name is strangely spelled, so.
So where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Brussels, and I quite cannot believe I'm on the line.
Oh, wow. Excellent. Well, congratulations. What would you like to talk about today?
Well, first I want to thank you for your work. Thank you for your shows and for everything that you do. I've been listening for around 1 year, I think, more or less now, and it's absolutely great, really, what you do. I wanted to talk about a little bit about my communication, because business-wise and private-wise, because I'm all over the place. As I heard you speaking one of the last weeks to one of your somebody called and you were like, your brain goes super fast and you're there and it's okay, it's nice, but not everybody are like this. So I would like to know, what do you see and what can I do on this field to improve it, to get better communication, especially, let's say, business-wise, because I would like to improve my contacts and get more quality contacts and work that I do. I'm a musician. So working in Belgium.
Play? Or do you write music, or you play an instrument?
No, I play the viola. I play the alto.
Oh, wow.
And yeah. And I'm a professional musician, but I don't have a permanent job because, I just graduated freshly. And I would like to get stable, but it's very difficult to pass an audition, and classical music world is actually really tough and really competitive. So I'm a little bit struggling also with my money due to that, because nothing is stable enough. So I would like to improve, and I'd like to know what should I add or change in my daily rituals, because I'm meditating, I'm doing yoga, I'm doing a lot of things, but I don't know, should I add something to my daily practice also to be able to communicate better with people that are around me. That was one of the questions. And also, I am currently living in Belgium, but I'm Croatian. So maybe you see some area or some city or some part of the world where I could be better fitted, because I consider myself pretty direct person, very open, and I kind of tell to the people what I think they should hear. But it doesn't really work.
No censorship then.
And sometimes it's too much. So I'm like, oh, okay, I should not have done that. And then I apologize forever. And then, So, and in Belgium, they like to go around. They really like to go around a lot. So, it can be confusing sometimes. So,
what would you say is your goal in terms of career? I mean, to you, what do you think it is?
Well, my goal is to play the music in the best possible way, let's say in the most quality way, in the highest level possible, to give all of me and to still be me, not to go out of what I feel and how I feel and what I actually think about it, that nothing is suppressed, to say so. But I would like to be stable, and I love the orchestra. I love to sit in an orchestra, play in an orchestra. it's a fantastic thing. It's a fantastic energy. It raises you up. It gives you so much that, yeah, I love it.
I can hear. I mean, that's great. I guess more what I'm asking is when I say, what is your goal? Is it like, do you have a specific orchestra in mind that you wanted to get into? Is there a certain, a traveling one or one that's based somewhere? Or is it that you wanted to do solo? In your mind, what do you think? What is your goal for your career? Where would you love to get to?
Well, I've been attracted, honestly, to the Baltic countries, to the cold countries. I have no idea why, because all my life I've been born and raised in the next to the sea and next to the sun in the warm area. But I would love to go to Sweden or to Norway or to Finland and have a orchestra there. Yes, I would love to travel. I love to travel. I love to move. So I don't mind the touring part, to say so. But no, I don't have one specific orchestra. I would not mind. How to say? I have a feeling I can live anywhere. Like,
so you're easy peasy. As long as it's a fabulous orchestra, you're good.
Yeah, if I can live out of it, if I can make my zone and my decent living, then do stuff that I still want to do aside of it, and if I can be stable and have a stable income and just not worry about the financial aspect of it, it's great. I don't mind. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, when I look at your energy, to me, it looks like at the moment, I would say you're kind of like the middle road. You're not, I know you said you're just starting out, but to me, it's like, yeah, but you've already got a certain amount of skill. You've got a certain amount of exposure. You've got a certain amount of experience. I'd call you more middle of the road rather than near the bottom. I think you can go very far with this if you do want to take it over time. To me, your location is okay right now. I wouldn't put it as fabulous. I think the opportunities that are there for you are very limited. To me, I think no matter what happens, you will have to have some much more European-y kind of exposure. And by that, I mean more like UK, France, maybe even Spain. But you need to get out there to make it happen. Because for me, I'm trying to think how to explain this well. For me, where you are now, you have a lot of skill, and you're like a piece of dough, right? That you make for the bread. At the moment, someone is just needing you. You're not prepped ready. You're not in the oven yet. You're just the piece of dough being kneaded.
Yeah.
What you need to do is get to a different location so that you can imagine it's like a different chef is handling the dough. Because right now it's like, yeah, it's okay. But there you're not going to get into the nice oven. That chef there is, not a 5-star chef. He is a 2-star chef. So you need to get somewhere where there is a 5-star chef, or at least a 4.5. Okay. So by this, you have to put yourself in that location. So think England, France, Spain for now. Okay. Now, it's not so easy, I know, to go to these places and get exposure. So what I want you to do is identify all the types of venues that you could play in, the types of people that have orchestras, etc. And I want you to post them, your samples.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if people still post CDs these days, whatever they do in the music industry. Maybe it's all digital. I don't know.
There's a lot, but yeah, they do.
Okay. But to me, it's things, people that would be interested in you are more old school people, not so much the modern younger people. The middle age to the older is the ones that would really hear your talent very well.
Okay.
So you just keep posting that out. Do a good cover letter. I know you're not very good at writing cover letters.
Exactly.
If you don't have a friend that can help you with it, go online and find some of these services that help you. You just give them the facts and they write the letter for you.
Okay.
Get someone else to write the letter because you, number one, you're not good at that. And number two, you will not sell yourself well. Okay. So you need someone else. And whatever they write, you just accept it and just type it out and put your name on it. Don't go, oh, I can't say this, I can't say that. No.
Okay.
You accept that they are the experts. So that's what you do.
Yes, I have a very good friend that can help me with this.
Good, good.
Yeah.
And yes, don't get in your head too much. Just allow them to do it. You're asking them, so whatever they come up with, that's what it's going to be. And
Okay.
I want you to post those out. And if after, let's say, 8 weeks you hear nothing, you do it again.
Okay.
Same people. You just keep doing it until you get a letter back saying either you come or don't send it to me anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
You are going to make this opportunity happen for yourself. Using this basic formula, this basic format, you can make it happen. Have that confidence because it can happen for you. And when it does, don't even worry about all the details. Just say yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I tend to overthink things and then I'm just not confident enough. And I get like, okay, that didn't work. It doesn't matter. I guess then it just didn't work. But I should resend my contacts, and say like, oh, I mailed you 2 weeks ago, but you maybe forgot about this mail. And I don't know.
Don't even say that. Don't even say it. Just send the letter again. Don't even say, because if you say that, then they'll think, oh, what are you like, following me up like my mother?
Yeah.
You don't want that kind of tone on the letter. You just want, oh, here it is. That's it. And I'm fabulous. And listen to my music.
Okay. Be persistent.
You don't even worry about all that because these are not people. These are not relatives. These are not close friends. So you don't have to be, make excuse for why you're writing again. Just do it.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Think of it like this. You will offend no one because if they're not interested, they just put it in a bin. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All right. And when you say you overthink things, to me, I'd say it's not so much that you overthink things. It's that you analyze every single scenario that will happen. If the plane fell out of the sky, then what would I do? Do I have the right kind of shoes on?
Yeah. It's completely true. I'm very good in this.
And that's okay. But you have to, when you're doing it, you have to, like in this situation, you have to say to yourself, no, because I'm only putting good vibes on this. I am creating my positive abundance. So all those worst case scenarios, I'm not going to think about them. I've already discussed them in my head before. They're all the same. So it's just, this is all I'm doing. Because you've already really considered everything already. So there's no need to keep doing it. It's a waste of your time. Tell yourself it's a waste of my time to keep doing this because I could be doing other things. I've already checked out the situation. I know.
Yeah, I do really.
I feel confident. I've covered all those bases now. So this is my next plan of action.
Yeah.
And then in 6 months' time, you will be amazed at what's going to happen.
Okay.
So just have that confidence. Really, really have that confidence. And when you talk about communication, like within your personal life, one of the things I would say is, yes, probably you do blurt out things that are inappropriate. That inner monitoring is probably a good idea for you.
Okay. Yeah.
Number one, you'll have easier time if you can do that. And number two, sometimes some of the stuff that comes out of your mouth isn't very nice. You mean it well.
Yeah, but it's really not nice. Yeah.
Your thought is well, but it's people get offended.
People get
And it's so think of it more like this. I have to keep my pins to myself.
Yeah.
No one's interested. If you keep saying that to yourself, that will regulate yourself enough to stop the just blurting things out.
Blabbering, I just blabber and then, oh my God, I should not have said that. And it's not.
But sometimes you also do it because you're nervous, and if you can remind yourself that that's what you're doing, you'll find that when you get nervous, you won't get as nervous because you're busy telling yourself not to,
Okay.
Like it's almost like by self-censoring yourself occupies your mind enough not to be nervous. One of the things you can also consider is, if you are into crystals, is you can consider carrying a piece of blue lace agate or blue tourmaline. They're both very good for communication. So,
oh God. Okay, I'm writing down.
And those you can get a nice pendant to put on, or you can just get a rough one and put it in your pocket.
Yeah, no, I have my little collection. I'm just playing with my amethyst and with my sodalite. They're everywhere. I like to put them around, and they're very good for my balance. And I don't know, I like how they work.
Yeah. Oh no, they're amazing. They're amazing. Yeah, but definitely those ones I would use when you're talking to people, or even if you're writing an email, I'd have them with you because they really help with communication. They help you clear your thoughts. For you, they will help you clear your thoughts, so that you're more organized when you say things.
Yeah. Okay.
One of the other things is when it comes to communication for you, when you talk to other people, I think you also probably apologize too much.
Oh, yeah. Depends on the period. Some periods are better because I'm more aware, and some periods are like, okay, I'm just saying sorry all the time. But yeah, depends.
But one of those things, it's part nervousness, but a part of it is also related to your own self-esteem. Okay. You have to remember that what you have, except when you blurt out loud random stuff, a lot of what you have to say is important. Okay. Your opinion does matter. All right.
Thank you.
So don't feel the need to apologize for your opinion about what you're doing. And so when other people get upset when you blurt out about them, that's one thing. All right.
Yeah.
But when it's about things that involve you, your own thoughts about yourself or where you're going, you really need to have more confidence in that whatever you say is okay.
Yeah.
Because the more that you keep thinking that when you talk, you watch people a lot. So when they react when you're talking and you see their reaction is a bit negative or a bit, then you start apologizing. So one of the things,
I pick up all the signs.
One of the things is, don't look people in the eye when you're talking to them straight away. Okay. Once you're like 3/4 of the way through your sentence before you look at them.
Oh, okay.
So that way you won't be as affected by them and you can get more of what you want to say out. I mean, their reaction might still be the same, but you've already not changing and then apologizing for it because you've already got it out.
Yeah.
Another thing I want you to do for yourself is every day when you get up, I want you to remember, and if you have to say it out loud to yourself, then say it out loud, that I am important. What I have to say is important.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
Because for you, that is a big issue.
Okay. Yeah, it is. It's true.
And if you can just do that for yourself every day for, let's say, 4 or 5 months, you will be amazed at how that changes the way you think, the way you talk, the way you present yourself. And it's one of those things that, over time you just get used to, and then people go, oh, what are you talking about? Oh, rubbish. And, bit by bit, your self-esteem and the ego go because you believe other people and you think, oh, was that stupid? Oh,
yeah, I think
I'm
getting bored, I'm saying something that nobody's interested in, and then why am I speaking? Then my stories just end up strangely in the air, and nobody knows. And like
they make less sense because you didn't finish the story because you've been shut down.
Yeah. And
I
shut
just
myself.
Perpetuates over the years. So these are one of the things that we're trying to address in a small way, so that it can build you back up and you can get over this hurdle. Because just by doing that, you'll find that you get your self-confidence back in full. And when you do, you present better. It's because you get nervous, you get edgy, you start to lose your self-worth, and it all cumulates together. So we want you to be back in that strong position.
Yeah. Okay.
So you start with the small things. Start there, because that will affect the big things.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's the break. Can you just hold on and we'll come back after the break?
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Welcome back, everyone, to Adventures into Reality with myself, Kathy Ma, and the Galactic historian, Andrew Bartzes. Although at the moment, we still have not made contact with Andrew, the the snow or the weather, let's just call it the weather in general, is keeping him from the internet. So let's hope that that is resolved very soon and that he pops into the studio any moment. And don't forget, you can get a private session with Andrew or myself by contacting Tanoch at galactichistorian.com. That's TENOCH at galactichistorian.com. And if you'd like to learn more about Andrew, please check out his website, because it has all his new stuff as well as his old stuff, and it tells you everything that's going on with him, and that's andrewbartles.com. If you'd like to learn more about me, please look at my website, which is kathyspearlsofwisdom.com, and that's Kathy with a K. And for those of you that are calling in, don't forget that if you're calling in on Skype, you need to send a request to Laura Lee. That's Laura Lee Solomon, because if she hasn't accepted and confirmed you on her Skype contact, then you cannot be put through. And for those of you that are trying to call, you can call Laura on her number 1 for US, 956-217-0261. So, Amalia, did I say it right this time?
Yes, Amalia.
Amalia.
Yes, Amalia. It's like Amalia, but yeah, it's a Balkan spelling, so we add the J and it confuses everybody.
Do you have a nickname? Do you have a nickname that people use?
Yes and no. Ame, Amali, sometimes Amalka when I was little.
Oh, wow. Oh, it's lovely to have such an exotic name. It really is.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get back to you. So you and the self-esteem, that's what I want you to work on over the next few months, because you really need to step up for yourself, because no one else is going to do it for you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, did I answer the questions that you had already, or did I not expand properly on them?
You explained very well. I wanted to ask, I have this idea of organizing house concerts, like neighbors concerts for people that are, let's say, from 25 to 45, the group that maybe doesn't go so much to the classical concerts, but would like to still listen something. And I don't know, should I'm stalling. I cannot decide who to invite for the first group to perform in my place, and I don't know, something has been holding me up with this, and I kind of figured it all out.
You've already chosen the venue, is it?
I would do it in my house, because my apartment where I just moved, it's really wonderful, and we have the space. We definitely can pull it out here. I think it could really work. Also, on that behalf, I wanted to ask you, should I maybe switch some of the orders in my room to help me sleep better and not lose energies, because I'm sleeping underneath. I'm on -1. My room is downstairs.
Under what, sorry?
Has this been...
What did you say about your room? I'm sorry. I missed the bit about your room. Where did you sleep? Under what did you say?
I'm on -1, so the apartment is on the ground floor, but the rooms are underneath, on the, like, not in the basement, but in the first floor underneath. So I'm underground, and I had some issues since I moved here in September. It was just a strange feeling, to be under the ground, under the level of the road, and you hear people passing, and my window is like on half. It's a very typical thing for Brussels, for example, but it was a bit awkward. So I thought maybe you see something with this.
So for you to get into your apartment, you have to walk downstairs to even get to your front entrance.
No, my front entrance is on the ground floor.
Okay, so you go into the inside, you open your front door, and then what is there?
There is like how to say, it's a room, it's a space that goes into the kitchen and into, let's say that it could be ideal dining room, but it's a space we organize kind of like my roommate's office. Let's say there's a table, there are the thing for the jackets, the shoes, and stuff like that, and then there's the kitchen on the left side of that goes out into a little garden, and directly on the right side of the entrance is a living room that can close with a door, not a normal door, but slide door. So it's all one big area, and then underneath that, downstairs are 2 rooms and a bathroom and a toilet underneath that. So it's 2 levels of the apartment itself.
Okay. So to get to your bedroom, you walk downstairs.
I need to go down. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And then your bedroom, is it an ensuite? Like the bathroom is open into your room, or is that separate with a door and a wall?
No, it's separate. It's a door and a wall. Yes, it's in between of the 2 rooms. I'm underneath the, let's say, living area, and she's underneath the kitchen, and then the bathroom is in this middle area that connects.
So when you're in your bedroom, what do you see? Is there windows? What can you see outside the windows?
I cannot see anything, in fact, because I'm on -1. So my window is like half. How to explain this? It's like half underneath, half on the ground floor. But I don't have a view. I mean, I can see the people passing their legs and their suitcases and whatever they're pulling that day. So.
Okay. So you can see people's ankles and shoes.
Yeah, indeed. It's a very fun experience. It's very goodly done, and so you don't have.
Do you have curtains or blinds on your windows?
Yes, 2 curtains, one like white ones and one blue one that is darker, that I use if I go to sleep completely. I like to be in the dark. So
in the daytime, if you're in the room, you have the curtains open and you can see the people's feet and ankles.
Yeah, let's say like this, yeah.
Okay. And then where is your bed in relation to that?
My bed is in the middle. The window is on the right. The door on the left. The door of my room.
So you're actually facing like if you were lying in bed and you looked up, you would be facing the window with the people walking down.
Yes, but more on my right side. The window is like upper right corner from my bed. Yeah.
Very limiting. When you describe it to me, it's from a functional perspective, it is very limiting kind of space. One of the things that you really should do, even though it would be a bit darker, is for most of the time, I would keep the curtains closed where you see the people walk past.
Okay.
And the reason for that really comes from this too much disturbing your energy, your chi within your room. So let me backtrack, I suppose. With your bedroom, you want the energy to be flowing in a smooth way, and you want it to be re-energizing you. You want it to be a safe, re-energizing energy that will embrace you when you're at a vulnerable moment, such as sleeping or changing clothes or whatever it is. So by having a view like that, it disturbs that chi, that flow. If you can imagine the energy it flows in a circle, just so you can visualize it. And when it gets to the window, what would happen is it would just cut out completely. So if it cuts out completely, no matter how it tries to flow, you can never start it again properly to do the rest of the circle. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So, of course, there has to be certain restrictions in terms of light. If it's too dark, then you have no choice but to open the window a bit for some parts of whatever you're doing in your room, like for your clothes or putting makeup on, whatever. Yeah. But for the overall part of it, I would like you to keep it closed because it doesn't help you. I'm not going to say it really hurts you, but it does a little bit in that sense, in terms of energy. So one of the things that rooms like that develop is that it's harder to sleep, it's harder to concentrate, and because you can't sleep well and focus when you're in that room of dreamland and manifestation, it then affects your everyday life, because if you're not sleeping well and you're tired, you're grumpy, and then again, because of that, you can't focus well. You see what I mean? It's like a vicious circle that should perpetuate.
Yeah, of course.
And what you've described to me, I think there's really probably no other way to put your bed, because if you flip it around the other way, then your feet are facing the door. Also, we're running into problems there. So in that sense, I think you've probably done the best that you could do with the room that you have. what I would like you to do is put some more vibrancy down there. So um, for me, when I look at your energy and the spot you're at now, I want you to think about more bright floral colors. I would like you to put some of that around your room. And it can be as simple as you buy material, just drape it over a chair, or you can get lampshades, whatever it is. But I want that kind of energy around you because that's more uplifting. And when you are more uplifted, everything else also flows a bit easier.
Yeah, well, the two walls that I have are colored in pink, in like a cyclam, really pink. So that's really uplifting. And I like it. I pretty much like it. Okay, yeah, I can add things for sure.
Yeah, add whatever to you. When I say floral, that imagery that comes in, that's what I'd like you to add. And it can be whatever style that suits you in whatever form. It doesn't really matter.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And then another thing I'd like you to do is at the entranceway in your front doorway, I would like you to put a piece of yellow jade. All right. It's you can get big chunks of it, and they look like just big yellow rocks. And it's relatively inexpensive. So it doesn't have to look pretty, but I would like a couple of chunks, let's say big enough to hold in your hand, not small pieces, bigger pieces. And I'd like you to put them around your front door, wherever artistically you feel drawn to, that will be okay. Because what that's going to do for you is it's going to help you attract more of what you're wanting and keeping out more of what you're not into. Okay. Because being in a downstairs bedroom is already tough. If you think another way I can simplify this so that you can probably more clearly understand why I would like those ones there is when it comes to staircases, it's if you talk about chi and energy that flows, like in your bedroom, it's all a flat surface, your floor. So it's all flowing around, right?
Yeah.
Outside your house, it's all flowing around your house, right? But then you're talking about energy that flows and then comes downstairs. Okay, so that's okay if it's good energy, but if it's bad energy to go back up, it's the same thing for you. It's much more difficult for you to attract positive things when you're down there because energy doesn't flow up and downstairs so easily as it was if it was a flat area.
Yeah, the stairs are directly in front of the entrance door. The stairs to go downstairs are directly in front of them. So there is for sure space.
So there is some good to it, and there's an upside and a downside to it. So good things can flow in, but then you got to be careful about what other things are flowing in, right? But at the same time, it's harder for you to call out upstairs to say, "Come here, I'm down here," because
indeed,
the energy is flowing around. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm putting it very simplified.
But that's okay.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm trying to take you is, so by having this yellow jade out the front, it's helping you be more discerning and attracting what we're just going to call abundance, positive abundance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and my last thing I wanted to ask is, do you see anything in my balance of divine masculine and feminine? Because I have a little bit of hormonal issues. Let's say when I was adolescent, it was more. Now it's much more better because I got also in tune with myself. But still, I'm not quite sure. And
what do you think? What do you mean by hormonal imbalance that you think you have? What does that mean to you?
Well, my periods and the regularity of it, honestly, and then just, yeah.
So it's more like a physical, not like so much emotional or.
Well, I think it influenced me also emotionally because I'm very easily I fall into anger or into depression. Like there is no way out of anything. So I think that it's connected one with each other, but lately I've been thinking that I didn't that it's maybe about this balance, that I have more masculine energies than feminine energies, and that maybe I should get this in a better balance, so that it's connected to this. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but yeah.
Well, one thing, let's say with you and your period, your cycle, is that you find that no matter what, unless you regulate it with something like the pill, I think you'll always have slightly not so regular. I mean,
Yeah.
some people are just like that. That's just
And
the
it's
way
okay.
it is.
Yeah, I kind of get used to it, so they just last for a long time, honestly.
Yeah, but that's also your body is getting rid of everything it doesn't need.
Okay.
Like think of it like this. It's better that it's more effective and it does that than you reabsorbing everything that you really don't need.
Yeah.
So
okay. Cool.
I hear you in that. I'd love to have a light one because sometimes being a woman is tough.
Normal people do. Yeah, please.
Yes, I hear you. But at the same time, that's just the way it is, and your body is super efficient, and that's what it's doing. Like I said, unless you were going to regulate it with, the contraceptive pill or something like this, then there's really no changing that over, in an extreme way, let's say. Yeah. But I also think that, now that you bring it up, I do think you're a little bit deficient in iron. Probably magnesium and iron. Yeah. So you might want to have a look at those, how you can supplement that a bit, whether it's tablets or whether you look at the food groups and eat more of that.
Food, yeah, okay. I like to regulate myself with food, and I really notice this, like how I'm eating and what I'm eating. It's really affecting me on a daily and on every basis that I have. It's really important. I notice directly that everything gets in this balance if I'm not eating properly. It's really crazy, but yeah, it's like this.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. To go back to one of your other questions about whether or not you should do home events in your own home. In concept, I like it. I think one of the reasons you're hesitating about it is because I know you said you can't decide on who should come, but to me, it's not so much who as the type of person, because although it is for fun and it would be fun, you don't want to do these things just for no reason.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's hard to admit to yourself you have ulterior motives as to why you want to do it. We've all been there. Like, I'm going to do this for you, but actually you're going to help me. One of the things I would suggest to you is whoever you do choose, make sure you always choose someone who's like a musician or a critic or a journalist, someone like that, because that's what you need. Because the reason you're doing it, of course, is to have the wonderful music, but also it's self-promotion. So whether they love you or hate you, either way, it's a self-promotion, and there's a reason for you to do it. There's nothing wrong with that being your core reason inside. You don't have to tell everyone that's what it is about. You just have to be honest with yourself about it, so that every time you do a show like this, you include one person that might help further what you want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And they may like it, they may not. It doesn't matter. The fact is that you've included someone who might get you there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, it's very correct.
And also think about the numbers, because I think your initial idea of the numbers is probably not really realistic. You have to think literally about seating, about mingling, if they're going to have a drink and crackers in between.
Yes, exactly. This was my idea, to have some finger food, some easy tea, coffee, whatever to drink, and to combine that. But I thought,
so you have to limit your numbers. Yeah, because once people start moving,
5 people maybe. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. See, I'd say somewhere between 5 and 7 would be ideal. You could put more in there, but then there's no mingling opportunity. And in your mind, you think everyone's going to sit in the chairs that you have put them, and they're not going to move the chairs, etc. But that's not the way things happen. What you think is going to happen, what you plan for it to happen, people will come in and they go, I'm going to move this chair over here. And I'm going to, you can't control certain aspects of it. So if you assume that people do stuff like that, then you will understand that it's very difficult to put more people in if there is movement going on, which inevitably would happen.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't think about big numbers. I would keep it small. I wouldn't fit like 50 people, but I thought, okay, I can have 15 people around, more or less, for the public. I think it should be doable. I mean, the place is pretty big, and yeah. But indeed, if they start to mingle around, that's true.
Yeah, and also it's less pressure. You have a bigger number, and you're about to perform. Everyone's looking for the toilet, or it's not working, and they want napkins and all this stuff. Whether you're already got someone to arrange all that doesn't matter. You're seeing it, you're watching it happen, and it will make you tense.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So you keep it small. Think of it more like an intimate number. That way, it's less pressure for you.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And I also see that you've got like some kind of strange love thing going on. Have you got an on-off love relationship?
Oh, yes, I did, and I do. Yeah, it's very hard to communicate for the two of us. I'm trying to find a middle zone, a good balance to say everything I want to say and that he can also express back. But somehow we end up in fighting and in screaming to each other. So this has been very difficult.
Okay, well, you hang on a sec. We'll come back after the ad.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone, to Adventures into Reality with myself, Kathy Ma, and the amazing Andrew Bartzis, who still must be fighting the weather and hasn't appeared yet, but fingers crossed that we've still got half an hour, he might make it. And so for those of you that have got disconnected, that we're on the waiting line with Skype or the phone, we apologize. We're having some connection problems today, so please bear with us. Sorry about that. And so we go back to Amalia. Did I say it right this time?
Yeah.
When I look at what's going on with you and this relationship, the on-off kind of thing, to me, a lot of it is about that you're both not really being honest. It's okay to say what you think and how you feel. Sometimes you're just not into it. You just got to say it. And he also needs to learn. He's got to be more honest. I think if the two of you could actually sit down and say, we have to be honest about what we're thinking, how we're feeling, whether it's good or bad, it's probably a good thing, because a lot of misunderstanding is happening because you're both thinking, oh, I can't say that. That sounds awful, or
yeah,
I don't want to do that, and I'm just going to yield. Yeah. It's actually, in a way, it's more painful or hurtful over time to not be honest about things.
Yeah.
Let's assume that you can both have this conversation. It will probably not go real smooth, but I think if you can get over this hurdle, there is a distinct good future that is possible for it. But until you can both adopt that kind of principle in your relationship, I think it will be tough.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing. I mean, in any relationship, whether it's a love relationship, family relationship, it's the easiest thing to do is to yield and not say what you mean. But the problem is that it festers, and eventually something very different comes up, and then usually an argument happens, and it tends to not be about that at all. It's about other things that have built up to that. Yeah. And then there's misunderstanding and
yeah.
It's not easy. Relationships are not easy, and all relationships need to be worked on to some degree. And even if it's as simple as thinking, you know what, I'm not very good at sharing my feelings, so every day I have to make more effort. Every day you call up or text if you can't say the words and tell them how much you appreciate them. It doesn't have to be because you want anything. It can just be, I love the way that you make me smile. I was just thinking about that today.
Yeah.
And that's it. And the more that you can do that, because saying the word sometimes is very difficult.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is easier to text something like that until you're more familiar with it, But the positive reaction that you get from things like this is amazing, And the fact that that you're going to make him smile, you're going to bring joy to someone just by a little message.
Yeah.
That's worth something just for you and your inner happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have like a issue to should I connect, should I really give into it, or just let everything go, and it's gonna be easier if I'm alone, and then I keep doubting. But on the other hand, you get so much exactly good things back to you, and I want to commit, but then this fear confronts me, and I'm like, if I get so much open to you, will you be able to understand it? And I have this fear of not being on the same level, and I'm completely into spirituality and completely other things. And yeah.
Well, just say it. I mean, maybe not all in the same day.
Yeah.
But say it, because
Yeah.
what do you have to lose? Honestly, what do you have to lose?
Yeah, nothing. It's true. Yeah.
And that's a big thing. Fear, sometimes really governs us, but it's an irrational fear because either way you're hurting anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed.
So just try it. Just try a little bit of honesty every week.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
Yeah. We've been, it's been now almost 2 years, a little bit less. So it's getting pretty long. So I'm like, okay, should I stay or should I go? Mood, like what do I do? And
give them a fair chance. Be honest.
Yeah.
And if they can't be honest with you, then the choice is already made for you. But at least you can be honest and say, I have fear, and this is a little bit of what I'm fearful of, and I wish that you could say something that would make me feel less fearful. But if you can't, that's okay. But you need to know this is how I'm feeling.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, of course.
Great. Well, thank you so much for calling. It's been wonderful to talk to you.
Thank you so much, Kathy. It really was a great pleasure.
All right. Well, is it nighttime there or day?
Yeah, it's nighttime there. Yeah.
Well, have a good evening then.
Thank you. You too.
All right, then. Thank you for calling.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Wow, what an interesting call. Very, very interesting. And again, I apologize for everyone who got dropped today on the Skype or the phone. Hopefully we'll sort things out very soon. Our next caller is TC. Are you there?
Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, cool.
Where are you calling from?
Texas.
Texas. Nice.
Yeah.
And is your name TC? Did I get that right?
Yeah, it's short for Tanya Cheyenne. It's my first name. So
oh, what a beautiful name.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, my middle name is Blue Skies.
Oh, nice. Wow, that's a long name.
Yeah, it really is. All my me and my siblings, we all have odd names. Like my older brother's middle name is Panda Sampson because my mom loved pandas at the time she had them.
Wow. Wow, your mom must be awesome.
Oh, she was a hippie.
Oh, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
So what would you like to look at today?
Well, I've been listening to the radio show off and on throughout the day because I just get so sidetracked with my kids, and I try to listen to old shows that you guys have had. I'm kind of a new listener. Mm-hmm. And I understand that Andrew's not in today.
No, at the moment he's still not here. He is battling snow.
Okay, yeah, that's totally fine. Well, I do have one thing I wanted to talk about, wanted to call in for. It's actually something that's actually a little hard for me to talk about because I just feel so, I don't know, so confused by it, and I get scared of getting judged easily by it. And it has to do with my spiritual anxiety, I guess you could say. I have really, really bad, spiritual anxiety. And it's something I've been trying to work with and get over, but I don't feel like I'm really getting there. And
what would you describe that to be, that this anxiety? Can you give me an example?
well, it's like ever since I was a kid, I've kind of had a knack of spiritual events happening to me. When I was like 10, 11 years old, I had a yellow orb thrown at my head and I dodged it and it hit the wall and my dad came in and he was like, what was that big bang? I'm like, an orb hit the wall. It just came at me and he thought I was crazy. When I was in fifth grade, I was slapped in the face really, really hard by something invisible. And like 3 minutes later, I got slapped again on the other cheek while I was hiding underneath my blanket. I've just had like certain things. I mean, like, I don't want to say all my spiritual things were bad. Some of them are lame or just interesting. But now I kind of have an understanding of spirituality more and stuff like that. It's something I feel like I've been forced into. And so now I've noticed that like I astral project, I just do it naturally. And as much as I would like to do all the fun things in the astral realm, 8 out of 10 times I end up going back into my body because anxiety will kick in the astral realm, and just so on. Like I'm still a little scared of it. I've gotten over a lot of it, but I'm not completely over it. And I would like to be able to, when I do astral project, actually enjoy it and go venture out and actually help others and so on.
Well, when I look at your energy and what's gone on for you, I mean, the first thing that really strikes me is, as a being, you have an immense, what do we call it, reserve of energy. Like if you can imagine, if you were a beaker, I mean like a cup, a measuring cup, and let's say the average person around you that is not big into awareness or spirituality, they might have like half a cup full of energy. For you, you're already like 3 cups. Like it's not too much, but it's overflowing because you have so much. And because you have all this energy within you, you easily attract things, right? So things that like, orbs that are landing near you, physical experiences you've had of energies, different people call it different stuff. Let's just call it energies of poking you, hitting you, whatever. This is just because that your energy is so big, so much, but it's not enclosed. It's not like you're overflowing from this cup, as opposed to having upgraded to a quart size. You're still in the little cup. Do you get what I mean? So one of the things that you want to do is try to find a way, a path, or a method that works for you that can totally enclose all this energy into your own orb, let's call it. So if you can imagine at the moment, you're just going, wow, you got energy everywhere, like fireworks all shooting off. So every Tom, Dick, and Harry energy is like, whoa, look, there she is, let's go. Because that looks fun. That looks like interesting. You're on the map. So they're all coming. As opposed to if we could get you to cover all this up in a ball, in your own enclosure, so that you go, oh, wait a minute. What is this strange energy coming towards me? I'm not into it, so just going to repel it. Oh, that weird energy too, repel it. I don't like it. Oh, that one, okay, I'll let that one in. So what you want to do is try and get yourself, let's call it grounded, and envelop yourself in your own circle, your own orb, so that you are just full of your own energy, and that other energies that are attracted to you can only come in when you invite them, after you can look at them and see and check it out and then decide whether or not you want it. Did I explain that well?
Yeah, I think I get what you mean.
Okay, so one of the things you need to do for that is, of course, always stay grounded, because the more grounded you are, the more control you have over putting this perimeter around yourself. One of the techniques I think you'll find that works for you is just do a simple visualization every day. Imagine, like when you're sitting down, close your eyes and visualize that you have a giant orb around yourself. And then, because it's an orb, you can actually see yourself floating a little bit because it has to go underneath your feet, right?
Yeah.
And whatever it is for you, you can be a stick figure, it can be you, however you visualize it, that's okay. And then you're checking all the perimeter of this circle around you, and you're making sure that it's all connected. So you can even tug at it to make sure that there's no gaps. However you visualize it, that's how it's going to be. And then when you are in that, your own circle of energy, then I want you to think about how you're going to stay grounded within that, okay? If you can do these two simple things, which actually to do it is not simple, okay? The way I say it sounds real easy, but to focus and visualize that every day, it takes a lot of effort. But over time, it'll come easier and easier. But just do these two, let's call it basic things, and you'll find that you don't have these random, weird kind of things happen to you. And when those energies do come towards you, you have a much more discerning way of looking at it and choosing whether or not you're going to invite that into your space or not.
Okay.
And if nothing else, this will actually help you understand that you have control. Because at the moment, I can see your energy and you just think you have no control. And in a way you don't, because you haven't, let's call it, sealed that circle around you.
Yeah.
Okay? But when you're in that sealed circle around you, you will have that control. And from there, you can do a lot of things that are you're ready for, that you choose to do, that you can engage with for your own interest or pleasure, or whatever it is, that is in a time and manner that suits you.
Yeah, that is definitely that's actually really good advice, because I would love to have more control and stuff like that. But also sometimes I'll have dreams that will come true, and it happens at random. But is there any way I can control that as well, in a sense, at all? Because I mean, I'm sure there's tons of people out there that can do that too, that have dreams that come true. Is there any way where I could have like more of that happening?
You do you, throughout your life, apart from the dreams, have you had experiences also that are in waking time where you've had, let's call them premonitions or sixth sense, and it's beyond thinking of someone and then calling you. It's almost like a deja vu, like something's going to happen, and when it happens, you've been there before. That kind of.
No, I mean they're pretty literal, like premonitions.
Okay, I'm asking you that because to me it looks like you would have had those kind of experiences. If you're not remembering them, that's okay. Take notice more in your waking days, because you probably will be having. You do have those things happen to you. Perhaps you haven't noticed it yet. It's people are busy lives. You can't always remember everything.
Yeah, definitely.
But I would definitely try and take more notice of that, because to me, a lot of this is really all tied up with your amazing sixth sense, because you have an incredible sixth sense. You really do. And you've tapped into it all your life. I mean, there are some times when you just know people are bad and you can't explain it. Everyone loves them, but you just know. And inevitably, over time, you will be proven right. And that's your sixth sense. I mean, I know it's easy to poo-poo it as not being it. And if you look back over your life, there's just been too many incidents like that to say it was coincidence,
Yeah.
And when you can actually recognize that for yourself, I mean, you don't have to tell anyone, just like, you know what, that's true. So I'm going to be more trusting of my own sixth sense. and then we'll just see where it goes. Because just because I know things, or just because I know things are going to happen, doesn't make it bad. It just is interesting.
Yeah.
And it also will then guide you towards trusting your instinct more. Because when I look at your energy, you're a very independent person, but at the same time, you're very susceptible to, I don't want to use the word suggestion, but you're very easily pushed off what you want to do or what you believe by others that are just more convincing and dominant and bossy.
Yeah.
There's no nice way to put that.
Yeah, I get what you're talking about, though. I do agree.
Yeah. So if you can actually see for yourself that your instincts are good, that your sixth sense is much more on point than you realize, it will then give you the confidence to say, you know what, you do what you want to do and I'm going to do what I want to do. But I think I'm right, so I'm not listening to you anymore. And being able to do something that you believed in and that you think is right from the get-go, as opposed to having to do what someone else wants or suggested, and then it was just all got stuffed up, then you had to go back and do it anyway. It's very frustrating. So having that self-confidence in your own ability and your own instinct is good, because it's very satisfying, and it's like such a no longer such a time waster to listen to other people.
Yeah.
But this will come over time when you have more and more examples that show you that you're right, that show you your instinct is good. And just have confidence with that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. You have another question?
No, not right now. That helped me out a lot. I'm going to start doing that visualization and meditate and more and trust my instincts more and stuff like that. So.
Okay. So how many kids have you got?
Oh, I have 2.
What are their ages?
My daughter is 1. I have a really hard time keeping track of the months. She's like 1.5. And my son is 4 years old.
Was the first one a little bit unexpected how things happened?
Kinda. It was more like I was just letting it happen. My husband and I just got married, and we moved out of state to Oregon, and then I found out I was pregnant when I was there, so we had to move back to Texas. And
That's okay. I'm just making sure that I'm on the right line. And that totally makes sense for the energy I'm seeing. I think you'll find that with this child, that things will always be, what is the word? Interesting. I'm not going to say hard. It's interesting, because this one is too intelligent.
Yes, he is. I've actually have been trying to school him more, because I notice he's very, very brilliant, I think.
Kids like that are never easy. I mean, they're a lot of fun, but they're never easy, because what the average kid would be satisfied with or kept occupied with is not the same. And it's always going to be weird things. It's not always just smart, super intelligent things. It can be strange things. One of the things I suggest with this one is that if you have any activities that are involved with the sensory, so like food, color, hearing, you will find that he will excel at them.
Yeah. He's 4 and he can read all of his colors. He's starting to be able to read like words like and, the, stuff like that. He can count to 100, over 100. I honestly think he'll do really good with piano. I really, really I just feel like he'll be great with piano, because there's a piano at my dad's house and he gets on there and he seems to pick up on simple things. So I'm going to get him a piano for Christmas and try to start teaching him piano. But yeah, he's really, really smart, and I try to have, as much patience as possible, and because he's very eccentric, and but I'm worried like that other people don't get him, like, because he's just I mean, to put it the best way to put it, he's just different, and I'm like, I'm worried that like people assume that he's autistic or something, and I kind of get worried about that, but at the same time I don't really think he's autistic, or at least, I don't want to believe that, but I don't know.
I don't think that is the issue with him. He's just brilliant. Kids like that are always difficult. He's 4 now. Let's say by the time he's 7, you would not think any of these kind of thoughts. It's only because he's young that.
Well, it's also because when people see him, I've had so many people ask me, is he autistic? And the doctor even wanted me to take him to get him checked out to see if he's autistic. I honestly really don't think he's autistic. I really don't. But, it's just, I'm worried, like, other people at this moment don't understand him. But
I would say you find over the next few years, this will pan out a kind of way. When you have a kid that's very brilliant, it's very difficult to occupy his mind. So things that are boring, it just doesn't bother with. So let's say if you're talking or trying to teach, I mean, not you, but someone, and it doesn't resonate with him, he'd just ignore you because it's boring. It makes no sense. Or he already understands it, so you're wasting his time. He'd rather play with his toy. Kids like this, a challenge. But as they get a bit older, they become much more interesting, I suppose, in a way. So it's easier to find a way to stimulate their mind. When they're still at 4, they can't really tell you what they need yet. And they haven't had enough life experiences to show you which are the things. Like, I look at him and I say, yeah, definitely pure maths. He'd be good at it, but it's too early for something like that, So you're just going to have to bide a bit more time, think of it the way we talked about, and think about how does one occupy a mind like that.
Oh, yeah, I try to shoot for his interests. Like, I try not to hold him back and see what he's interested in and try to, work with him on what he's interested in. He's such a joy. He definitely keeps me on my toes and definitely keeps me entertained. He's such a great kid. I love him to death.
He'd probably really enjoy something like astronomy.
Oh,
because
yeah, really.
It's an infinite universe, and the stars are forever. There's always something going on. And there's things to calculate, things to consider.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that sounds like something he would be interested in. I'm going to get on that, see if he'll find that interesting.
Oh, good. Well, thank you so much for calling in. It was great to talk to you, Tanya.
Oh, it was great talking to you, too. Thank you so much. You gave me such wonderful advice.
You're welcome. Thank you. And thank you so much for listening to our show. So thank you, everyone, so much for tuning in today into Adventures into Reality.